Hello and welcome. You're watching the Wednesday edition of This Is Exclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, just imagine this. On Saturday morning around 6:30, 3,500 young boys and girls were attending a music festival. This was barely about a few kilometers away from the Gaza border. While they were dancing, it was part of a music festival where not just Israelis but foreign dignitaries were also present. What just happened thereafter was indiscriminate firing took place. Rockets were being fired from Gaza. It appeared for most of the Israelis that this is just like any other day when rockets are being fired from Gaza. But this time it was completely different. Israelis were taken by surprise. Hamas terrorists had entered Israeli territory. They fired indiscriminately, and it does not end there. They were taken hostage. Over the next few minutes, a world exclusive where you must hear the testimony of those who were taken captive, and not just that, those who were hiding from the Hamas terrorists, not just for a few hours, ladies and gentlemen, for almost 30 hours without food, without electricity, and all that they could hear was indiscriminate firing. Their loved ones were butchered. Women, children, all were butchered. And for those who are now supporting the Hamas must listen to these two testimonies that we are bringing to you tonight. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the real face of a terrorist organization called Hamas, which has also been in power in Gaza. Take a look at the headlines first, and then we take you through the testimony of those who survived Hamas's terror. Hamas's terrorists have killed over 1,000 in Israel. In the 5-day war, Israel strikes back hard. 40 babies slaughtered. Kibbuts witnesses the worst ever massacre at the hands of Hamas mercenaries. Israel hits back by targeting terror bases in Gaza. Hamas military commander killed in retaliatory strikes. Team Republic continues with its fearless reporting as missile strikes continues in Gaza border. Most wanted Jaish-e-Mohammed, the terrorist and Pathankot plotter, shot dead by unknown assailants in Pakistan. Before we go across to our guests who are joining us on this broadcast, first I would like to go across to our colleague, our fearless reporting team, getting you the report from Gaza border. Remember, Republic TV's crew is closest to the Gaza border, where there is a lot of speculation that is now doing the round that in the coming few days there could be a possibility of a ground invasion carried out by the Israeli troops. Let me go across to Alicia, who's getting us the latest updates. Alicia, bring us up to speed. What's really happening around you?
Shaman, we are reporting from the checkpoint, and from here to the west, if I can show the visuals from here from the west, is the Gaza city. Here the police has been deployed in numbers. It's a heavy police that has been deployed, and no one has been allowed to even enter the Gaza city unless they have the permission. I'm just trying to show the visuals of the police officials who are being, the senior police officials who are being deployed here at the checkpoint, and they are not being allowed until and unless they have an official permission to enter the Gaza city. Even we have been asked to stay at a distance so that we can report it from the distance only. But every car has been checked. Every people here have been traveling to have been questioned whether what is the reason behind that they have been traveling to. So as you can see, there are police officials. They are on distance here, because even we have been asked to be at a safer place, and no one to the right, to the left. As we know, this is the lane which goes to the Gaza city, and this is the lane which I'm been showing goes to the Gaza city. But it's a checkpoint where no one has been allowed. Even Lav is also joined. We stay with the visuals, but Lav can even inform what is really happening as we are near to the Gaza city, the closest point which goes towards the Gaza city.
So what is happening is that since there were quite a few rockets into Sderot and Nir Am and other places around here, more and more roads are blocked. More and more roads from the Gaza border, the border between Gaza and Israel, and the villages and towns around it, more and more of them are blocked. And this is because of the fear that although we have some of the technologies to deal with the rockets from Hamas, some of them find their place into Israel. Some of them get to Israel, some of them kill Israelis. So the army decided to block more and more roads, and unless somebody is really needed, like ambulances and Israeli tanks and lorries, otherwise other people are not allowed to go.
Well, yes. So as we were reporting from the Gaza point, there is no one is allowed to even you know. We are not being even allowed to. So we have been moving, and we are not even allowed to show the visuals. But yes, we were at the checkpoint, and to the left, where they were. It's to the Gaza city where no one is allowed to go until unless someone has the permission. Yes, Shaban.
Well, Alisha, I'll urge you to be safe. The situation still remains extremely volatile, especially closer to the Gaza border. Remember, there has been a massive troop mobilization that is essentially taking place. In fact, that is exactly why many believe that there is a possibility in the days to come that what the Prime Minister has been indicating, that there would be a full-scale ground invasion. That is exactly why they are saying this is going to be very different. Let's now shift focus to the story of those who have suffered at the hands of Hamas terrorists. Ladies and gentlemen, I was talking to you about the music festival and, of course, those very areas close to the Gaza border. Before I go across to my guest, Elkanan Bedin, I would like to put across some images for all of you to take a look at. I'll try and explain what is it that Elkanan Bedin actually had to go through. These visuals that I'm going to put out right now is going to take you through what many in Israel had to face, especially closer to Gaza border. Elkanan Bedin lives in a kibbutz which is just about 2 kilometers away from the Gaza border. What you see right now on your screens, these are images of the festival. We'll try and move out of the festival images because I would like to play out the images of Elkanan Bedin, who was holed up for almost 30 hours. Now, let me try and explain what you're seeing right now. This image, this video was shot by Elkanan Bedin when he was inside his residence. This kibbutz is just about 2 kilometers away from Gaza border. Elkanan actually woke up to the sounds of these rockets, which he essentially describes as something not abnormal for those who have been living close to the Gaza border. But what you see right now is for 30 hours when Elkanan was inside his residence in his kibbutz, he saw the IDF soldiers only coming in after almost 24 hours. Remember, the IDF was also taken by surprise because this time it was not only about firing rockets from Gaza, but this time you had Hamas terrorists entering villages, settlements that was close to the Gaza border. Elkanan Bedin, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. Words really failed to describe what you and several other people have been going through in Israel. People may have condemned this terrorist act of the Hamas, but world needs to know what is it that you all had to go through in the last few days. Let us first begin with what you witnessed on Saturday morning around 6:30 when you woke up. Take us through what is it that you first saw.
Hello, namaste. Good evening over there, India. Thank you for talking to us. We woke up at 6:30 in the morning, as you said, from a lot of rockets, and we are used to rockets. And whoever lives near the border has a shelter in their house. So lucky for me, I had a shelter in my house. That's what's going on. We thought it's like a regular rocket attack. Every few months, Hamas shoots rockets on Israel. They don't care on who. Women, children, old people, every time. But every time we go inside the shelter, and we thought it's a regular bombing morning. But this time it wasn't only bombing. They came with terrorists into the kibbutz while I was locked in the shelter. I didn't know what's going on. I just heard shooting and shooting, and I had Hamas people walking around my house, around my in my garden. I heard them, and it was very scary, very crazy, very brutal. Whoever they saw, they just killed them, raped them, brutally murdered them, burnt them alive all over the area. And there were kibbutzim that were destroyed uh, till the ashes. And this is the Islam radical we have to deal with for the last since Israel became Israel, you know. So this is pretty much what we have here: brutal attacks from Hamas that declared jihad on us. I'm sure you guys in India also have that with Pakistan and all extreme Islam that also want to kill with no reason just for being in their religion. And this is very scary.
Elkaran, I'm putting out this image, this video that was shot by you while you were inside your house. This is when
Yes.
the IDF reached the next morning around 8:30 is what you told me. I want you to tell us the difficult moments that you had to go through, because as I understand, while you were in the shelter, you had no access to food, you had no access to any other basic amenities, and all this while Hamas terrorists were in that proximity. And as I understand, it's also closer to the kibbutz where they had beheaded children. What is it that you can tell us?
As you know, it was like from a scary movie. In our kibbutz, we managed to kill all the terrorists, civilians who had their own guns. But the kibbutz near me, they did that Kfar Aza. They did kill almost most of the kibbutz and burned alive families, and the shelter didn't help them. And they just came and just killed us for being Jewish. And this is scary. This is crazy. This is a war crime. And it's not every day I see outside of my window soldiers running after terrorists. That's it's crazy as well. And we hope the world can see the crimes against humanity that was taking place here.
Elkaran, as I
And,
understand
many-
that
And I know,
women,
one second.
children
I know
were
you said.
specific.
I know you said
Elkaran,
the
go ahead. You were
soldiers.
saying something.
There were many soldiers on the way to come and save us, and they were also brutally murdered by this Hamas sudden attack. And so it's not that people, they didn't even know how big the situation it was. It was like 1,500 terrorists coming just to shoot and kill whoever's Jewish and doesn't believe in the same Islam God of theirs.
Elkaran, I also want to know from you, in your kibbutz, 5 to 10 people were killed. You've been able to now perhaps gather what happened in your kibbutz. As we understand, Hamas was particularly targeting women and children. What is it that you can tell us? What is it that you've gathered so far, at least in your area and the kibbutz just next to you, where several children were beheaded?
So in our kibbutz, people that got killed are people that came from that famous nature party. They came and ran away from the party, and when they came to the kibbutz, there was a siren of the rockets, and then they went to hide in the shelter, and then Hamas came and brutally murdered them and killed them, leaving them no way to escape. And the day after, when I went outside of the kibbutz, I've seen all the cars that have been attacked, and whoever was outside, they just got killed and murdered brutally, scary, and no mercy, just for us being Jewish. And the whole world needs to know.
Al-Karim, I also want to,
I think the
I
whole
also want
world
to
needs
ask
to
you this
know
because,
that.
when I spoke to you, sorry, Al-Karim, when I spoke to you just before this show, where you said that initially when the rockets were fired, you thought that this was like any other day because this is not new. This war has been going on for a very long time, but this time Hamas terrorists entered Israeli territory. I want to ask you, when you were inside the shelter almost for 26 to 30 hours, what went through your mind? Because it isn't easy. One, you have your family with you. You do not know what is going to be the very next moment when you have Hamas terrorists lurking around in that very area. What went through your mind in those in those 26 to 30 hours that you were holed up inside the shelter?
I didn't even realize what's going on too much. The disaster that's going outside of my house. I didn't have any information. As we said, there was no telephone reception. We didn't know exactly what's going on. We just were told to stay in the house. We didn't even know what's going on outside until I went outside and I saw what happened. And as we said, these rockets are going on for several years, like 20 years already. And we're used to it, and it's sad that we're used to it. People think we had the Iron Dome, so that's enough to deal with Hamas. But Hamas, you need to deal with them in a hard way. Because these Hamas people, they want jihad all worldwide. Like I said to you before, they'll come to London. They're already in London. They're already in Europe. They want to do jihad all over the world, just like they did a few years ago in Mumbai when they came and killed in the hotel there, not mercilessly. And we need to know what the deal of the world, and whoever doesn't condemn this, it's like people didn't condemn the Nazis in World War II. And we need the whole world to condemn them. And whoever says now supports Hamas needs to know he's supporting Nazis. He's supporting people who are terrible. They're just like ISIS, but just like people were afraid a few years ago of ISIS walking around the world. And as I can see now, you're showing a footage of like two ladies getting murdered brutally.
Right.
It's being shot just for being a Jew. This is terrible. Where else in the world this can happen? And Israel has the whole right to defend itself right now, and the whole country, doesn't matter white wing, left wing, everybody wants only one thing: to destroy Hamas. It can't be that we have this giant terror organization that gets funded from all over the world, including from India, including from Pakistan, including from Iran. They're getting funded and they're getting money, and we need to stop this. We need to stop, and that's what we're going to do now, because Israel is united against Hamas right now. And it starts with their school books, what they teach them when they're in kindergarten. They teach them to kill the Jews, and then in elementary school they teach them to kill the Jews. And this is going on for so many years. This is going on in United Nations camps, while United Nations knows about it. And you don't have any other people in the world that were called refugees for 73 years. And the world needs to wake up to understand this. Hamas will come all over the world, just like
Absolutely.
ISIS. They just want to kill everybody. And people need to know,
I would like to thank you from everyone.
I have one more thing to say. India and Israel, they have
Please go
one
ahead.
thing.
Please go ahead.
Israel and India have one thing in common. It's that we're a very ancient people. We're here for like more than 5,000 years. And just like you guys, just like we're here to stay. We say in Hebrew, Am Yisrael Chai. The Jewish people are living, and we're here to stay. And whoever's going to try to destroy us can try. All over history, people try to destroy us. But we're staying strong and alive, and we're trying to also be happy. Okay?
Well, thank you very much, Elkanan, for joining us on this broadcast. And of course, it isn't really easy to narrate the kind of ordeal that you, your friends, your family members have gone through. And at this difficult point in time, we would like to only pray for your well-being and, of course, for the entire country as India stands strong with Israel. Well, in fact, the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas has entered day 5. And Israel has made it abundantly clear that this time the response is going to be very different. How exactly could that be really different, given the fact that you already have retaliatory airstrikes that are being carried out? Gaza has been completely pounded. But the fact of the matter is this: when the Prime Minister of Israel says that while the Hamas may have started the fight, it is Israel that is going to end it. Is he really indicating that this time there could be a possibility of ground invasion in Gaza? Because remember, there is a growing chorus amongst the Israelis that this time there has to be a proper response. Our team, in fact, has been in one place which is closer to the Gaza border. Sderot happens to be one of those first cities to have been attacked by the Hamas terrorists. Relief camps have now come up. Take a look at this report filed by my colleague Alisha and Gursimran.
I'll say bless our friends in India.
The President of Israel, sir, what will be your
I
message?
bless our friends in India. Thank you for your great support. I'll say bless our friends in India.
The President of Israel, sir, what will be your
I
message?
bless our friends in India. Thank you for your great support.
Joined by the President of Israel, sir, what will be your
I
message?
bless our friends in India. Thank you for your great support.
Sir, PM Modi has sent his message to the people of Israel. Joined by the President of Israel, sir, what will be your
I
message?
bless our friends in India. Thank you for your great support.
Sir, PM Modi has sent his message to the people of Israel.
The long-standing relationship between India and Israel, and in this difficult moment, Prime Minister Modi has already expressed solidarity with Israel. In fact, have also spoken about the assistance that is going to be provided to Israel. World leaders all have come together to back Israel. US President Joe Biden also indicated that military assistance could also be provided to Israel. But remember, the situation is only changing with every passing day. In fact, cities which are closer to the Gaza border remains extremely vulnerable. Through the day, rockets are being fired from Hamas's side, which is now being intercepted by the much famed Iron Dome. But is that really enough? Questions also now being asked: how exactly will this be taken forward by Israel? Stepping into a short break. On the other side, we'll get you more reports from the Gaza border.
In the India Today Best Universities 2023 survey, released recently, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School Bengaluru.
massive destruction that has taken place here in the central Tel Aviv. All the residentials, they have been asked to vacate this area. No one is inside.
Republic is with the Israeli forces. Israeli forces was clearly mentioned. They are going to retaliate and they are completely ready now, as we can see.
Hamas target of significant value that has been neutralized over the last 24 hours.
There have been several. We've been able to neutralize several launching sites from where they've been launching rockets, weapons caches where they store rockets and other types of weapons.